Again, folks, time for one of those nice, laid-back, chill casts featuring a Force Commander played by Deimos and a Mech Boy played by FAthom. Got a map. Outer Reaches is our map. One of them maps where the games tend to drag on a little bit longer than some of the others. Very hard to get a triple cap here. Generally regarded as quite a strong map for the Space Marines. Somewhat safe power farms. A lot of influence in the early game, I would say, on that bottom south western contested power point. I like that Deimos is going for that early on. In fact, no, that's not even Deimos. The Shooter Boys of FAthom. I like that play. Now, it's just generally a map where transports are not considered very strong, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Both of these races get a lot of value out of transports because they got such powerful ranged units. Deimos apparently wanting to learn how to play Orcs. Interesting second choice of faction. Going from the lowest damage faction in the Space Marines to the highest damage faction in the Orcs. Quite a contrast. I'm sure he'll be stunned. But likewise, the durability of your Space Marines early on is quite a contrast from the durability of your Orc boys. So that'll be interesting to see Deimos' development. As an Orc player too, certainly I know the channel has been enjoying Deimos' development as a Space Marine player. A bit of missed micro there from Deimos. He's going to lose those scouts. Slugger's actually utilising the melee charge quite wonderfully there from FAthom to get that extra movement speed and get away from the Force Commander and Tactical Marines that can beat them so easily one-on-one. Instead, get into melee with that generator that they so love to bash. But battle cry from the Force Commander, going to disrupt them, actually killing one of those sluggers. Ooh, we see some shotguns as well, nice and early. Now, FAthom's actually gone for a fast Pain Boy. Only getting 2 boys initially. I don't like this build from FAthom. It doesn't make any sense. The Pain Boy is a force multiplier, insofar as he himself counts as nothing, but he has more weight in an engagement the bigger your army already was. So to get him initially, it doesn't make any sense. Why? What's the point? It's fine to go 2 boys and get a Pain Boy later in tier 1, but why would you not rush Storm Boys and then get a Pain Boy afterwards? I don't get him. Anyway, it's what we've got for now. We got 2 gens dropped by FAthom, we've got 3 gens dropped by Deimos. Deimos' scouts are trying to put in a little bit of work down here to this contested power node, but unfortunately, Mech Boy is going to kill one of them. Pain Boy is probably going to kill another. Okay, cheeky knockback from the shotgun blast. Going to secure the retreat of those scouts, and a bit of a flank from the other gun units of the Space Marines, going to force off those boys. Pain Boy left on his own now, going to use the heal on himself, never something you want to do. Obviously that heal, it heals each individual model in a unit, so if you use it on boys, it's an effective 5 or 6 times multiplier on the heal. So a bit of a waste really using it on the Pain Boy himself, but you know. I suppose there wasn't really much else to use it on, but I would have just backed off and kept the Pain Boy in play to prevent decaps. You know, Pain Boy would have been useful in engagements like this. Now we see Shooter Boys coming out 4th. Again, just a questionable build from FAthom. Why, if you're going to get shooters, why build them late? Like, was he waiting to see if there was going to be investment in the scouts prior to getting it? Maybe, I can see that. I still don't like it though. I don't think it's worth it. I don't know. FAthom's builds never make any sense to me. Force Commander's got to be careful here with the damage over time from the Pain Boy, but at the same time, the Space Marines made a bit of a mistake there, not focus firing the Pain Boy. That Pain Boy could have risked going down actually, but nonetheless, Deimos is going to take this engagement, and he's finally going to win control of this contested power that they're also desperately fighting over for whatever reason. Got to turn my fan on because this is just crazy. It's so hot. Killer hot. Alright, that's better. Holy shit. it's like 22 degrees Celsius here in the UK, guys, and you know, I'm a fucking half Irish, half Scottish, ginger bearded dwarf. 22 degrees Celsius is way too hot, let me tell you. Way too hot. Listen, I went on holiday to Iceland for my 21st birthday. That's my kind of holiday, guys. 22 degrees while I'm trying to cast games. This is wrong. This is too much. Anyway, that's why we got a chill cast right now. Can't do anything else. Heat is exhausting. It's killer. Right, let's continue with the cast. This is going to be a long one, boys. Look at this. Look at the VPs. FAthom hasn't even lost a VP yet, and even the lead that FAthom had against Deimos, Deimos is still over 400. It is so hard to get VP leads on this map. So double tax for Deimos. You know what? I actually love this build. I love it because there's no Storm Boys to deal with. Weird overextension there of the Force Commander. I liked the attempted nade, but yeah, it was dodged. So Force Commander just been a bit annoying here, manipulating the line of sight to delay as long as possible. I mean, this is a lot of troops here from FAthom trying to fight over not a lot, really. You know, just imagine if FAthom did a big timing push against the Gen Farm. I think that'd be so much more productive, but instead he's committing to all this fighting over the contested PowerPoint. Force Commander's got to be careful here. Shooters should be turning around and shooting him. Painboy's got damage over time in his blade for retreat. Yeah, I don't know why the shooters took so long to shoot him. He's not immortal. Feels like FAthom sometimes thinks he is. And a bit of an overcommitment really from FAthom there, losing a lot of models and having to retreat out of there. One of the beautiful things with the dual tactical marine play is that you just don't bleed models. These scouts got infiltration. No, I don't think so. Yeah, so the mech boy with that Daka gun, gonna force them off quite easily. And the mech boy can push up and continue the VP pressure, I guess. No, he's just gonna go for the break. That's fine. Honestly, I probably would have gone for the VP just because I think VPs are way more valuable on maps where it's hard to get a triple cap. Especially when you're fighting Space Marines, it can be annoying them using the infiltrated scouts constantly backcapping you. It can be hard to win a game on VPs with that. But Deimos has actually got to tier 2 first and he's going for a Whirlwind, which is... it's an eccentric play. It's not a high frequency play, you don't see it often. But I do think it's quite a high percentage play and it is quite meta. Now, typically the early game of Orcs will feature either a... the early tier 2 of Orcs will feature either a Death Dread or a War Truck. So the Whirlwind's quite nice because it gets that Hunter-Killer missile which can do pretty good damage to both. Mostly the War Truck though. If it is a Death Dread then the Whirlwind will not do amazing things. But the map, the way that it is with all the line of sight blockers and the quite small horizontal distance from base to base, the Whirlwind actually is going to be putting in a lot of work here, and if you can attack ground with the Whirlwind just behind these shooter blobs, you'll knock them forward out of cover and then you can just pick them off with your tactical marines. Now you can really commit deeper into that strategy by going for the Sacred Standard to buff the damage of the tactical marines and also get things like the Stern Guard with the Hellfire rounds, which is your best DPS option against light infantry you have as the Space Marines. But unfortunately for Deimos, there's not going to be a War Truck here, there is going to be a Death Dread instead. Quick tip about the War Truck and Whirlwind situation. 2 Hunter-Killer missiles will wipe a War Truck if you hit them through rear armor. So you can get some really surprising War Truck wipes actually in the early tier 2 before they get their armor upgrade with the Whirlwind. Even if you just use like melee of the Force Commander or ASM, or even just a grenade or 2 on the War Truck. That can get them down enough that they then try and back off, and as soon as they turn around and expose that rear armor, boom, you hit them with a Hunter-Killer and you wipe it. But yeah, it's not going to happen. Instead there's going to be a Death Dread, which is smart by FAthom not to go for the truck here. Like I say, it's kind of a bad map for the transports as well. There's a lot of awkward things for transports and tanks to get stuck on. or line of sight blockers, which, you know, stops the transports from shooting. But line of sight blockers do not stop the whirling from shooting, which is why it's actually quite a nice choice on this map. Tactical Marines here should be able to force off the mech boy quite easily. Oh, this is really greedy from FAthom. I don't like this at all. Using his movement global to get that Death Dread buffed up in speed, chase down the whirlwind, but he's running into base to do it. Do we see a missile? No. Okay, there's no AV coming, so actually he might be alright. Yeah, the Dreadnought is actually staying in melee as well, so man, if he can snag the whirlwind kill and then just leg it out of here, he is fantastic. Why is Deimos not getting any AV? This is so strange. Somehow the whirlwind is getting away though. The Death Dread can't catch it. Why is it so slow? Ah, there you go, finally. But, wow, I don't know why Deimos didn't get any AV. All he needed was a missile launcher. To kill that Death Dread, that would be a really cost-effective trade. Well, that's not good for Deimos, but he's going to replace the Whirlwind with another Dreadnought. Interesting. And there's going to be busters coming out for FAthom, which, yeah, man. He's got the Death Dread, he's got the busters, and he's got potentially a beamy Death Gun on the mech, which I think he certainly should get once he sees the second Dread. FAthom's in a pretty good spot, actually. We'll see. Now, if I was playing as Deimos, I'd be looking to get some upgrades on my Force Commander, make him real annoying and tanky. Would be very effective. Tie up those tank busters. Not sure whether I'd go for the Iron Halo or whether I'd go for the Teleporter pack. Honestly, probably the Teleporter pack. Just teleport Thunderhammer Force Commander around to the tank busters, disrupt them, and then your Dreadnoughts can go ham. Yeah, the attack Sarge is coming in for these Marines. I think they might be getting upgraded to the Stern Guard. I think that would be wise. Deimos outputting a bit of a gem bash over here on the natural power farm of FAthom. See how FAthom can respond. A bit of an overcommitment, I would say, down here when the gem farm is getting lost. It's over here, an isolated shooter boy squad. Now that shooter boy squad needs to consider how it's going to get out of that situation if it gets ambushed. Got to be careful with your retreat paths on this map. If you end up here, you can retreat all the way through the mid, then things like the Dreadnought can be in retreat path. Less of a concern when you're fighting Space Marines, obviously, like a melee that they've got, but it's definitely something you should still be concerned about. Looks like Deimos is not noticing the scouts up top. Finally did. Actually threw a grenade. Looks like FAthom is the one not noticing, in fact. Eating that grenade rather unnecessarily. Mech boy running into melee for some reason. I don't know why. Jeez. And that is a bad engagement from FAthom, massively overcommitting into trying to attack this Dreadnought down bottom and not realising at all that there was a huge flank from the scouts, other Dreadnought and Tactical Marines from the top. See any Stern Guard yet? No, not yet. Okay, the Death Dread has took this opportunity to use its burners and the rest of its bits. Try and burn down the FAthom of the FAthom of Deimos. The farm of Deimos. Painboy idling on bottom, getting shot. Might be going down. Any more AV? No. Just relying on the heavy melee for AV. Okay, Painboy did retreat out of there. But Death Dread's really isolated. Power Fist now coming for the Force Commander. But the Dreadnoughts are gonna path block the Force Commander. Interesting. Okay, Knob Leader coming out for the Slugger Boys, that's going to be quite effective. Unfortunately, a little bit too late for this engagement though. Those shotguns are going to get rid of them. It seems like a bit of a questionable engagement here from the Marines. Charging scouts headfirst into double fully upgraded shooters and Painboy. Not great. For the Emperor is dropped on the tax, but it's honestly not really going to do a whole lot, kind of a waste. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna see one assault cannon dreadnought. Let's see how it fares. Where's that death dread? I feel like we might want to see some grots. Oh, this could be a bad barrage. Ooh, that was actually a poor barrage usage. I don't know why FAthom just retreated out there. That Buster Squad had 3 shots on that dreadnought. That's very odd. That was a really bad barrage. Completely whiffed. Very ballsy play from Deimos, actually. Now double repairs coming down from the mech boy with the sluggers. That'll help out. Okay. He does have the halo now, so he's very tanky as this force commander. You know, I always stress the importance of this contested power farm at the bottom, but holy shit, I've never seen 2 players fight over it so much. Now, I don't know why the tank busters are blobbing in a line like this, leaving themselves vulnerable to a barrage. Come on, FAthom. Don't blob up like this. Doesn't matter though, that doesn't even wipe the busters, not even close. I'm gonna take out... Wow, might even take out both of the dreadnoughts at this rate. Maybe not, the tank busters are a little bit slow to respond. Could we be using War to buff their speed? Oh, looks like there's probably going to be a shotgun blast, secure the retreat of the dreadnought. Is that the... Oh, that's the assault cannon dreadnought. Yeah! So we get a sync kill here. Beautifully done from the Death Dread. Ooh, you don't see the Death Dread sync kill a dreadnought very often. But yeah, that Death Dread. Wow, look at the flames now onto these scouts. Go on, Death Dread. Try to take it out with nades. You know what? That might be enough. Oh, unlucky. The Force Commander's proccing a special attack, which misses against the Death Dread. Where is the support? Something saved this Death Dread. It's been a hero. It's killed a Whirlwind, it's killed Gen Farms, it's killed an Assault Cannon Dreadnought. It is a hero Death Dread. Now Stormboy's coming out. I mean, yeah. It's alright. I mean, it counters the attack blob to an extent, but I just worried, like, Sacred Standard, buffing up the damage of Stern Guard plus attacks plus double shotgun scouts. Stormboys are going to get wrecked, man. I'd have rather just fought it at range with a Weird Boy. Suddenly these dual tank busters are feeling a little bit redundant. Honestly, sacking one of them might not even be a bad idea, because his army is just too big at this point. He's going to just get bled to pieces. Fully upgraded shooters should be able to handle these scouts quite easily. Yeah, they are. More DACA dropped on them there from the Mech Boys Global. Reduces the reload times. Alright. Now, I definitely need some repairs for this Death Dread. I think throw away one of the tank busters, get some Gretchen. Help repair, help cap the map. Always scary retreat paths on this map. Level 3 tactical space marines now, very spooky. Nowhere near as many levels on the orc units here. Bit of a strange bomber boys. Some attempted retreat nades. Not to much avail. Busters trying to grab the power. I think they'd be better served now just going through the mid, constantly bashing. Yeah, just look at that Death Dread instantly routing the Space Marine forces. The Death Dread's so good right now. Terminators coming. Assault Terminators? Yeah. Alright, that's not great for the Death Dread. Now, the Death Dread does have the option to proc those special attacks, which I'm pretty sure will send the Terminators flying, but yeah, the Terminators are too tanky. The Death Dread doesn't have the durability to withstand that, certainly not with a Power Fist Force Commander also lurking around. The problem now is the Orcs are stuck in Tier 2, and Orc Tier 2 is notoriously bad against Space Marines, because they basically have no way to deal with super heavy infantry armor. Notoriously bad against Tier 3 Space Marines, I should say. Here we go, Flesh Over Steel pins that Death Dread in place. Now the Hammonators can put on some damage, and not only them, but Vengeance around Sternguard. Yeah, that's going to be a dead Death Dread. Now the Terminator has to back off, so does the FC. Nice little engagement there. Deimos got what he wanted, a nice pick. Oh god, overextension from the Pain Boy. Terminators turn around and terminate that Pain Boy. A nice little near spike up top as well. As bad as IG apparently. I guess he means the teching of the Space Marines. But FAthom has no gens, and Deimos has had his gen farm up pretty much constantly. I think maybe 1 or 2 gens got killed by the Death Dread or something, but yeah. This is just getting out-teched and outplayed. Yeah, and this is probably GG to be honest. I mean, FAthom is even behind on the VPs, so by quite a lot as well. I don't know how you can come out of this. If I was Deimos, I'd actually be saving up for a Land Raider right now. Maybe not, that's probably kind of ridiculous actually. No, don't do that, Deimos. No, you know what would actually be really good? So you wouldn't go for a Land Raider because there's double tank busters on the field, but he could save up for Vanguard. In fact, he can probably get them out right now. That'd be really strong right now. And nice and mobile, can contest the VPs. They obviously can't have the Weird Boy and this weird range blob that FAthom has. And I've got to admit, I don't really see what the Orc range blob can do here against this. Yeah. Terminators teleport in, and that is an all-X retreat on this blob. Terminator now gets extra support from the Librarian, right? Yeah, I don't know, FAthom. I don't know how you can do this, mate. This is going to be a tough one. See though, I think it's just going to be tenacity until he gets bled dry VPs, to be honest. I can't see how he wins these engagements. I guess if he gets a really good vomit onto the Terminators, no. Even if he gets a really good vomit onto the Terminators and you try and kill it with all your Orc melee, he's now got Librarians, so as soon as that vomit happens, he just can teleport the Terminators to safety with a Librarian. Unless Deimos does fuck up and keep the Librarian next to the Terminators, which would be a bit silly. Posturing up from the Orc army, but posturing up for what? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to achieve too much, to be honest. Guess we'll find out. Really sloppy loss from the mech boy there, not really any reason for that. No other combat even happening. I don't know what happened there. Man, I feel like I'm bitching when I'm casting these FAthom games. But I just want to say, FAthom did send this game in. Maybe FAthom's like really masochistic and he just loves me shit talking him. I don't mean to shit talk you, FAthom. I just gotta be honest, man. Like, I don't understand. You make these like accusations and complaints like the mod team have outdone themselves. SM are worse than IG. Well, for a start, you're playing on a heavily favoured SM map. Secondly, you never frigging bashed him. You know what I mean? You bashed like 2 gens. He destroyed like 5 or 6 of your gens. It's not comparable. But your builds are just weird. They don't. And when I say weird, they're suboptimal. They're bad. They don't make any sense. If you're gonna get double shooters in tier 1, just open with double shooters, because you're just ceding map control. It just doesn't make any sense. If you open with 2 boys, that's fine, and then you get hero upgrades and you get tier 1.5 quicker. But if you want tier 1.5 quicker, don't go for pain boys first. Oh shit, I just tabbed out of the game. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I'm gesturing in real life like a fucking Italian right now. God. I feel like I'm in Italy, it's so warm. Good grief. Yeah, Villa time on Assault Terminators. I mean, this is just bullying. Fighting a poor orc that's stuck in tier 2 and you've got Terminators, there's not a whole lot he can do. All they can do is stun you somehow, and then rip you to pieces with power melee. But even that's not effective when there's a Librarian, because as soon as you stun the Termies, the Librarian just teleports them out. And then the stun's gone again, and then the Termies come back and kick your ass. So yep, that is going to be the game. FAthom throws in the towel, because there is absolutely no way at all he can come back. Even if FAthom was the guy with 288 VPs, there is no way he's winning this game. But that is the Tailor Wars of FAthom on Outer Reaches. Nice to see Outer Reaches, we don't see it too often. Hope you guys did enjoy this chillcast. Thank you for tuning in, folks. That is all. Top it out.